President-elect Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan, is set to visit the U.S.-Mexico border with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. That's fine, but I don't get this obsession with physically going down to the border. What do you think you're going to see? The problem? Oh, somebody left this gate open. Solved it.
Wow, the propaganda apparatus of the Democratic Party is just ubiquitous, isn't it? Why go to the border when it's so much better not to? That's the Democrat Party's leadership in a nutshell. And now, Led Zeppelin. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Well, happy pre-Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Eve. Thanksgiving Eve. It's funny out there these days, isn't it? Because the Democrats are so crazy. They're eager to reject their family members. I wonder if there'll be any poisonings this Thanksgiving anywhere in the United States of America. Shouldn't rule it out, that's for sure, because there's a lot of crazy out there. Speaking of which, I don't know how this got by us, but it got by us for a couple of days. Out of Chicago, Illinois, and surrounding environs, the libs gathered along the shores of Lake Michigan, which is one of our Great Lakes. It's one of our 5 Great Lakes in the Great American Heartland and beyond. They're very large lakes. Lake Michigan is very large. I grew up along, a couple of miles from the shores of Lake Michigan. Can't live right on the lake. That's kind of expensive there, but it's great. The people at Not the Bee have the story, and the Washington Post does not. Watch this group of liberal white women. They're liberal white women. Their race is everything because they don't, they're liberals. Liberal white women gather at Lake Michigan to scream after Trump won. Remember the Scream at the Sky Day? I love Scream at the Sky Day. That was one of my favorite days in the history of the United States of America. Honestly, I think, Concord and Lexington and then Scream at the Sky Day. You could leap right ahead. Pretty amazing stuff. You remember, do you have Scream at the Sky Day? Because Scream at the Sky Day, Democrats arranged, it was after President Trump won the presidency in 2016, and he was going to move into the White House. So the Democrats arranged, they used social media and stuff, which they're not well. And they Scream at the Sky Day all across the country. Democrats came outside and at the same time did this.
3, 2, 1.
They had a countdown. Scream at the sky. That one seems to really care. I think she really cares. She cares more than the rest, don't you think? And that was going on all over the country. We played a whole bunch of videos at the time, Scream at the Sky. But now it turns out that this remarkable story, that on Saturday, this past Saturday, what was that, 4 days ago. And tomorrow's Thursday. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Beware your own family. But here it is. You guys, I don't think Donald Trump is going to recover from this, the Not the Bee writes. In response to his decisive victory in the 2024 presidential election, a group of liberal women in the Milwaukee suburb known locally as Whitefish Bay, stood on the beach and screamed at Lake Michigan. No kidding. That's what they're saying. No kidding. Liberal white women screaming at Lake Michigan because they wanted to gather together as a group to express their anger at the fact that the person that they voted for didn't win. Here they are. They've even poisoned Wisconsin. Even Milwaukee is not exempt. And White Folks Bay is the sarcastic nickname of Whitefish Bay. And the primal scream for, and I'm looking at the video, and it's really white women. There are no men there. And, they had to get up off of their whatevers and get out and stand on the beach with Lake Michigan in front of them and scream at the top of their lungs because they're very unwell. Aren't they amazing? They all seem to care about the same amount in this case. Oh, that one's pretty good. That might be the same one from the last Scream at the Sky. There's always one. There's one in every crowd. They are remarkable. Wah, wah, wah. Michael Moore. Michael Moore is a bloated bag of creosote, known for his odoriferous aroma, known for his smell. I have met Michael Moore. I met him when I was at the Pentagon and spent a little time with him. He was roaming around. I was with CNN at the time, and Michael Moore came into the CNN office, and we didn't let him sit down because, you know, our chairs, we didn't have government chairs. We just had regular civilian chairs. They couldn't withstand the strain of Michael Moore, so we told him to stand. Michael Moore lashes out at Biden, says he's leading America into World War III. That's what the left-wing radical extremist Michael Moore says. Quote, "This is your legacy? Question mark. This is how you want to go out in a blaze of horror?" Michael Moore says, in a blaze of horror is how you want to go out. And Michael Moore, he was on the television talking about this and MSDNC because it's a great big Democrat Party circle fest, as always. Progressive filmmaker and activist, I guess that's one way to describe him. Bloated, corpulent bag of discardable stuff might be another. Progressive filmmaker and activist Michael Moore accused President Biden of ruining his legacy and leading America, quote, right into World War III, end quote, in a scathing open letter to the president. He can write. That's kind of remarkable, I think. Moore, who told Biden last month he could leave the White House as a hero by ending aid to Israel, not by ending the war against Israel, but by cutting Israel off, so maybe there will be a second genocide of the Jewish people. And the Democrats, the left, would like that, just like their forebears in the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler, who brought us the first Holocaust, and the Democrats who brought us the first Civil War, as it's known. And, you know, the 1861 to 1865 American Civil War is now called the First Civil War by historians because, you know, that's how they are. That's pretty crazy. So he could end as a hero by ending aid to Israel and forgiving all student loan debt and all medical debt. So you could become a communist, and then you'd be a hero to the fatty fat Michael Moore with his horrible aroma. Isn't that amazing? So all medical debt, all student loan debt, and cut off all aid to Israel. And then you'd be a hero in the eyes of Michael Moore. Isn't that amazing? Then he was really a Japanese trawling boat came up and fired a harpoon into Michael Moore, and they dragged him off to this. And they said, wait a minute, that's a filmmaker, not a marine mammal. This time, Michael Moore attacked Biden for not heeding his request and going in the opposite direction. Michael Moore wrote, "My suggestions were all about cementing your status as a great president," in quotation marks and capitalized, "about shaping your legacy, making you an unforgettable figure in the pantheon of all 44 white men who have presided over this country before you." Now, did he forget Barack Obama? Because I don't know. Joe Biden was vice president to a two-term president who was African-American. He still is African-American, as a matter of fact. So, but he got to racialize it and racially polarize it, even though the corpulent creosote bag, never mind. You think he travels with like a medical team with paddles that just in case? Because that is just amazing. Man, Yenny writes, all 44 white men who have presided over this country before you, and also your former boss. He was half white, so let's take that into account. You, on the other hand, seem to be trying to cement your legacy as a warmonger, doubling down on some of your worst mistakes and worst impulses. So I'll ask you again, what are you doing in all capital letters. He's brain damaged, He's amazing. Moore said that Joe Biden was dragging America into foreign conflicts, which is true, instead of helping the American people, which is true, during his final days in office by authorizing the delivery of weapons to Ukraine, allowing Ukraine's military to use U.S.-provided long-range missiles on targets inside Russian territory, and signing off and sending anti-personnel landmines to Ukraine. They're just anti-children. They're anti-children landmines. They're little ones. They look like toys, and the children pick them up, and then you can't even send Princess Diana there anymore. Landmines, all capital letters. Seriously, Joe? Unbelievable. This is your legacy. This is how you want to go out? I wouldn't say he's going out just yet, but in a blaze of horror, if Joe's got to go, we all got to go with him right into World War III with a question mark. He fumed. Michael Moore also attacked the Biden administration for selling weapons to Israel and vetoing a United Nations Security Council draft resolution that demanded an unconditional ceasefire in Gaza. And the winners must surrender. The superior force must surrender because the commies would kill all the Jews. That's the thing about the commies these days. They chant from the river to the sea on college campuses and had to fire all of the Ivy League presidents, all women, because the rampant anti-Semitism on college campuses from Harvard on down, if that's down. The only country speaking out in favor of more death and destruction was the one you and I are citizens of. This is your legacy, Joe? Honestly. And this is the Democrat Party. They're mental. Mental. That's it. I'm telling you.
I feel the same way that I felt a few weeks ago that Trump is toast. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Toast. And Manischewitz. I'm telling you. All right, let's see. Let's go to, I haven't gone to a phone call in a while, have I? Let's go to a telephone call. Let's go to John calling from Kensington, Maryland. John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very kindly, and unto you as well.
Thank you. I encountered an article in the London Telegraph where the biographer of Kamala is quoted. His name is Dan Moraine. He is indicating that the idea is being floated about that Kamala may be the president of Planned Parenthood, and I think that would be a great idea because of her great record of accomplishment, her logical, persuasive speeches, especially this one yesterday, and her financial management and budgeting skills.
You think she might bankrupt Planned Parenthood eventually?
Oh, she'll bring the joy back to the abortion industry.
Joy. They tried the word joy. It didn't work out very well. That is funny. I had not seen the article, but that is a funny idea to make her that, because then they could continue exterminating 40% of the black population in the womb every year.
Well, yeah, we really don't want that, but she...
Of course not. But the party of slavery and Jim Crow loves it, though. They give out awards for that.
That's right, the Margaret Sanger Award.
Yep. Hillary Clinton has one. Hanoi Jane Fonda has one, the Margaret Sanger Awards. Proudly displayed at home, no doubt. Kamala as the head of Planned Parenthood. Well, it's $1 million a year job, at least, for sure. So that they'd have that going for it. And they could continue doing the Democrat Party's work, reducing the population of the country and the planet Earth so there are more parking spaces available for everyone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think if she were to get that job, Planned Parenthood would start going downhill even more.
You're probably right about that. That's she could kill Planned Parenthood. That'd be funny. She'd be the anti-Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger, the eugenicist, racist who gave birth to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood carries on the traditions, and it'd be ironic since she's, half black herself. She could carry on the traditions of Planned Parenthood. And the organ harvest would continue. They love the organ harvest. That's one of their things. John, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to your whole gang. Did you know that, speaking of which, a recent reanalysis of a long-established study and respected study shows that 1 year after having an abortion, a great many women, in fact, 50% of women, have a higher likelihood of having a psychiatric episode and needing treatment, and 87% of women that have abortions show a higher likelihood of a personality or behavioral disorder within a year of having an abortion. This isn't women's health care. It's exactly the opposite, of course. But a great organization called Preborn. They have a network of clinics across the country, and pregnant women, are welcomed at Preborn with open arms, where they're given love, and they're shown an ultrasound of the baby living inside of them, because that gives you the choice. Then you can make a choice, a life-affirming choice. They always talk about choice, but when they choose life, they're also offered assistance for up to 2 years, thanks to Preborn, including everything, maternity clothes and diapers and counseling and so much more. Preborn helps treat the whole woman and the baby, the baby growing inside of her. Donating to Preborn is very simple. All you have to do is dial pound 250. You dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say the keyword baby, or find them online at preborn.com/plant. Preborn.com/PLANTE. All of your gifts are, of course, tax deductible, and Preborn has a 4-star rating as a charity, which is a great thing. All right, Thanksgiving tomorrow. Family fun, Democrat politics, all the crazy that they can pack into one evening. Got a lot of that going on. And we have, a crazy elected Democrat in Chicago, Illinois, pulled over by the police. We have the body cam for you.
We will do that for it. With a sense of joy, yes.
Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. What's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? Avoiding politics. Have a pithy one-liner available for your Kamala Harris. If you're going to Thanksgiving dinner at the home of Kamala Harris voters, are you worried about arsenic? Are you worried about homicide attempts? Because how maladjusted there. I have a fun story coming up of an elected Democrat in the city of Chicago, Cook County, Illinois, pulled over by the police, appeared to be hammered. The body cam coming up. That Kamala Harris, famous for drink a lot, and I've talked about it here before. And now we've got the videotape. Let's go to the videotape. It's on the videotape of Kamala, wherever she was, giving her rambling, incoherent, nutty video address, I guess it might be called. And, it wouldn't be the first time, of course, that famous Democrat, but never mind that. Here's a story out of Chicago, Illinois. Democratic official drunkenly slurs, flaunts government position during DUI arrest. That's driving under the influence, a DUI arrest. And that's the Fox News story. The Chicago Sun-Times has the story as well. In Samantha Steele, her name is Samantha Steele. It's a good, strong name, isn't it? Sounds like she's an author of murder mysteries or something. In Samantha Steele's DUI arrests, Cook County politician told Chicago cops, quote, "I'm an elected official," end quote, because she figured, You know, it's Chicago. That'd probably take care of it for you, right? Police body camera video recordings show Democratic Board of Review Commissioner Samantha Steele told Chicago police officers she's a politician. She's an elected official. You can't pull me over, do anything to me, even after I just crashed into multiple automobiles barreling along the streets of Chicago drunk. During her arrest for a DUI in Chicago earlier this month, just got the police body cam video, a Democratic member of the obscure but influential Cook County Board of Review made sure that cops at the scene of a crash she caused knew that they were dealing with a politician. In the body camera videos from the incident in Andersonville neighborhood in Chicago on November 11th that WBEZ and the Chicago Sun-Times obtained this week. They just obtained it. This is a Chicago Sun-Times article I'm reading from. Board of Review Commissioner Samantha Steele repeatedly refused to cooperate with police officers who responded, including requests from the cops to get out of the smashed car she was driving. She's driving, so she's smashed. The car is smashed. One officer told her, "Ma'am, if you don't exit the vehicle, I'm going to help you to exit, and you don't want that. You don't want that." I think that he's probably right about that. And she says, "You don't want that. I'm an elected official." Right? Like, oh, really? Elected official of what? Cook County, Samantha Steele told the police officer. So this is how it goes. And then the story ends with her mugshot. It's and I got to say, the Chicago Sun-Times looks like they did a nice job of covering the story. They honestly did. They've got a full story, a complete story, and it looks good. To report now, let's go to the body cam video because this is the fun part, of course. Cook County, Illinois Commissioner Samantha Steele pulled over by the police, and again, she had crashed into 2 or 3 cars. The police witnessed this, then pulled her over. She pulled over. She rolled down her window, wouldn't get out of the car, and she then the door is open, and she's still waiting. And she's obviously hammered, slammed, schnockered. You know, she's 3 sheets, but she doesn't care because don't you know who she is, right? Wah, wah. So here it goes. Soundbite number 23 of Samantha Steele, elected Democrat, of course, to a big commission. You got to be elected to it, so it's a big deal. It's not just an appointee of the city or the mayor or the governor or anything, an actual elected position. This is what it sounded like.
Exit the vehicle.
No, I'm not leaving the vehicle.
Ma'am, if you don't exit the vehicle, I'm going to help you to exit. And you don't want that.
You don't want that.
I'm
an elected official.
I actually do. Elected official of what?
Cook County.
Cook County. You elected which office? What's your name?
I'm Sam.
I'm Sam, and she extends her hand to shake hands with him, and the hand extension makes it, she failed the sobriety test again right there, sticking her hand out to shake hands with a police officer, and he's like, "I'm not, meeting you in a bar. I just pulled you over. I'm the police. I'm about to put handcuffs on you, not for recreational purposes. This is you about to be arrested by the police." But she stuck her hand out like, I'm Sam. I'm Sam. Samantha. She's Samantha. So I'm Sam. There it is. And the Fox News story, Democratic official drunkenly slurs, flaunts government position during DUI arrest. Samantha Steele made vulgar comments about a male police officer. The report shows. And what was that, Violet? What she, we'll get to that. She made reference to his male genitalia, his male appendage, and in a disparaging fashion. This is the elected official. So the police officer, I'm Sam, sticks her hand out to shake hands. I'm an elected official. And The police officer says, I'm going to need your driver's license and your registration because, see, you've just been pulled over and, you crashed into cars and everything. And let's start talking handcuffs.
I'm requesting your driver's license and your proof of insurance. I'm sure you can provide me with those two things while we're waiting for your attorney to show up.
I'll wait for him.
Okay, ma'am. Do you want me to handcuff you and arrest you?
No.
Because right now, at this point, you're refusing to provide me any...
I am.
You are. You realize that, right?
Yes. I'm an elected official.
You're what?
I don't want any of this.
Well, ma'am,
I'll
you're
wait
involved
for
in an
him.
accident. You've hit several cars.
2.
So, yeah, I need to see your driver's license so I can start the paperwork.
Pulled out in front of me.
Okay, great. I'll ask you that in a second.
2, you crashed into several cars. You hit several cars. She jumps in 2. She also slipped in there, I'm an elected official. She did again I'm an elected official. She's sitting in the jail cell, bobbing her head, going, I'm an elected official. I'm an elected official. She said it over and over again. Police officer said, you hit several cars. She says 2. You're
involved in an accident. You've hit several cars.
2.
2. Just 2. And then you kept driving, and that's okay. And she had already said, I'm going to stay in the car. I'm going to call my lawyer. I'm going to call you. Really going to call your lawyer and have your lawyer come to the scene of you being pulled over. Is that what's going to happen here? And then says, it's time for your sobriety test. I think it's sobriety test time. Either that or click, handcuffs.
Now you can hang up the phone, ma'am.
No.
We're still doing our
My
investigation.
attorney.
Okay. Now, tell your attorney, since he's on the phone, are you going to do field sobriety test or no?
No.
Okay.
No,
Are you
wait.
being arrested? You say no. I was waiting for that.
I was waiting for that. Pulling her out of the car, you hear the clicking handcuffs.
She refused. I asked her to do field sobriety test and she refused.
Wah. I asked you to, hey, but she's got her lawyer on the phone. Her lawyer's right there on the phone. And the lawyer might tell you, no, don't take the field sobriety test because I can tell from here that you're drunk as a skunk. You're Pepe Le Pew. Honestly, what is going on with this? That's crazy stuff. You people. What is the matter with you people? There are more elected Democrats, too, because one of my favorite, maybe my favorite congresswoman is Katie Porter. You may remember Katie Porter from California, member of the House of Representatives. She's on her way out now because this last election cycle, she was actually running for the Senate in California, for the United States Senate. And she lost. She lost in the primary. And now she's apparently going to be unemployed because she doesn't have a seat in the House of Representatives anymore, and she lost her bid for the Senate. But Katie Porter's in the news again. You may recall that she had some pretty crazy stuff. Her daughter, Katie Porter's daughter, was 3 years ago, was 9 years old, and Congresswoman Katie Porter was in a hearing on Capitol Hill in the House of Representatives, and they were piping in Greta von Thunberg, the child prophet of doom, the prophet of the apocalypse. The seas are rising and we're all going to die. Greta Thunberg, who flies around whatever in private jets and lectures you like they all do. But never mind that. And Katie Porter was talking to Greta Thunberg and said, I was talking to my 9-year-old daughter about you and about the looming apocalypse.
I told my 9-year-old daughter that I was going to be speaking with you. And I said, what do you think about climate change? And she said, the earth is on fire and we're all going to die soon.
Sure.
And I asked her how that made her feel. And she said it made her feel angry.
Angry. And then she looted a Walgreens and burned a police car because she's a 9-year-old. And then, now here we are 3 years later, and Katie Porter made some news just a couple of months ago because we got the, I'm sorry, you got the Katie Porter and Al Franken. That's right, I forgot about that one. Al Franken, another former disgraced former Democrat. He was in the Senate.
The climate part, which is, it's been hot lately.
It's life or death.
It's life or death.
It's summertime.
If we don't do something, Orange County is going to feel like Las Vegas, and that would be the end of the world.
And that would be the end of the world. Orange County, California will feel like Las Vegas, and that's the end of the world. And Al Franken observed, it's been hot lately. I think it was August, but that's not important now. And then just a couple of months ago, Katie Porter was doing another, and she updated us on her her 9-year-old daughter, who is now her 12-year-old daughter. And somebody called Child Protective Services because this was Katie Porter's latest story.
On election night, I went to pick up my daughter, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, what happened? And she said, Mom, Trump's going to win. What if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter.
Yeah, you did that to her. Because in California, any 12-year-old, I think they give abortions at school. In the men's room with the tampons and you people. But that's Katie Porter shouldn't be raising a child. That seems obvious to me as someone who has not raised a child. I'm signing the cross right now. But now there's a news story on Katie Porter. Katie Porter files for a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend alleging persistent abuse. This is Katie Porter. Her boyfriend. Now, her boyfriend objects to this, and her boyfriend says, well, I'll get to that, but the people at Politico, left-wing, Julian Willis, her ex-boyfriend, I think with the restraining order and everything, if he wasn't the ex before the restraining order, probably an ex after the restraining order. Julian Williams alleged threats to leak false information to the press, quote, poses a serious risk to my career and personal reputation, end quote. That's what Katie Porter said. She said that her ex-boyfriend now, Julian Willis, who has substance abuse issues and been in and out of treatment and all of that, she says that he was going to leak information to the press that she says is false information, and that this false information poses a serious risk to her career and personal reputation. So that's why she filed for a restraining order from the court, right? Willis said that her filing for the restraining order was an effort to preempt him for his own claims against her. He's got claims against her, and he told her, I'm going to file suit against you. And she said, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a restraining order against you. So I got to tell you, this is the Katie Porter that we all know and love with her daughter, who's now 12 years old. And I bet the daughter's just a complete mess. It's a terrible and tragic thing. But outgoing representative, Democrat representative, I'll add that because the news media didn't, Katie Porter obtained a temporary restraining order, a TRO, against her ex-boyfriend, telling the court that his persistent abuse and harassment, including sending her and her family and staff more than 1,000 text messages and emails over 3 months. Now, wait a minute. This is the boyfriend, and he's sending not just to her, but to her family and to staff members over 3 months, 1,000 emails and text messages. I'm not sure that sounds like completely crazy land, but okay. Has caused her significant fear for her personal safety and well-being. It's the old text message restraining order here. In a petition for domestic violence restraining order filed on Tuesday, the Orange County Superior Court in California, Congresswoman Katie Porter, child abuser that she is, alleged Julian Willis, her romantic partner of several years, sent a litany of abusive messages with the intent to cause significant harm to her public image. Well, now you may not have a public image anymore because you're going to be a former member of Congress. But isn't that amazing? And it turns out that the now ex-boyfriend was planning on filing suit against her. And he is, God bless him, he's been in and out of combating all substance abuse issues and stuff. And he's been, apparently, according to the reporting, in and out of psychiatric facilities. And I would think that, Katie Porter should probably be looking in psychiatric facilities for her next boyfriend because that's about the only place she's going to find anyone, I think. Also remember that Katie Porter is the one who poured the big pot of boiled potatoes over her ex-husband's head. He was sitting at the table there in the kitchen. She had peeled a bunch of potatoes, put them in boiling water, and boiled up a bunch of potatoes. Then she lost her Democrat temper. The ex-husband of California Democrat Senate candidate Katie Porter said that he does not recant his domestic abuse allegations against the Congresswoman after her campaign said that he had recanted, and they just lied, but never mind that. So dumped hot potatoes on her then-husband's head, scalding the top of his head, then smashed a glass that led to him being cut by flying shards of broken glass. This is Katie Porter, Democrat, member of the House of Representatives in good standing. It's good to be a Democrat, isn't it?
And, one of my favorite sayings is, the only common factor in your dysfunctional relationships is you.
Ah, yes. Now, a story just breaking. Members of President Trump's cabinet, U.S. News and World Report, Trump cabinet nominees targeted with bomb threats, swatting. Spokesperson says. KTLA in Los Angeles, California, Trump cabinet nominees targeted with violent threats. That's 14 minutes ago from KTLA. Very unsurprising indeed. And Fox News, Trump cabinet nominees, appointees targeted with violent un-American threats. That's because the Democrats are very, very angry. And I tell you, my best girl and I, it's kind of a complicated story. But we've I'll just say a remodeled kitchen, a brand new remodeled kitchen that we've not used once. But we're going to use it tomorrow, the new kitchen. My best girl and I, just the two of us for Thanksgiving dinner. That's our Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night. It's just the two of us. No air travel, TSA lines, record lines everywhere, right? They're saying, what are they, 18 million people flying? And the TSA lines are out of control. There are Democrats that are staying home from the airports, from some of the airports, to cause more problems. Where did I see that? At Newark and beyond. And record number of people driving on America's highways. I'll be going from the kitchen to the couch, I think will be. That's pretty much it. And just the two of us. And we do have some family members in Washington, D.C., where historically we've spent holidays together. I think they might be a little upset this year because of the election. So we'll let the libs have their Thanksgiving where it is. And theirs may be angrier than ours, but that's okay. Yeah, and the Trump cabinet nominees and appointees targeted with violent un-American threats, with bomb threats and things. But let's all have a great American Thanksgiving like normal people. Remember normal.